Finally, Kenneth Logue's dogs will be let out on the track.
The Sundogs are more than well prepared to face a bunch of hoodlums like the Riot, and I can assure you that our principles of fair play and good sportsmanship will be more than a match for the antics of a bunch of knuckleheads like Loden and Logue and Brown.
While the leader of the Sundogs is Logue, Posse Chalene is no mutt. This purebred Finlander is the key in keeping Logue out of the doghouse. And who says cats are scared of dogs? Denise Loden has been sharpening her claws while awaiting a shot at her ungrateful ex-team.
Denise was a good skater, but it was always about Denise. You know, she wouldn't even wear our team uniform. I'm glad we got rid of her.
As far as I'm concerned, she was yesterday's trash. It's already been taken care of.
I'm going to take pleasure in causing those backstabbers plenty of pain.
And the ravenous Riot are undefeated with their new lioness. It's the Sundogs versus the Riot, next on Roller Jam. You get a beautiful look at Universal Studios and Orlando, Florida. That's where we are tonight for Roller Jam here in the World Skating League. And tonight, we bring you the Florida Sundogs, the home team here, against the Illinois Riot. And the Florida Sundogs, maybe we'll finally get a chance to see them. Kenneth Logue III has taken over this team. He is their new coach, manager, whatever you want to call him. They'll finally make their debut with him tonight.
Well, we were supposed to see these guys earlier, but Kenneth Logue, if you remember, he was the general manager of the league. He's now decided to make himself the leader of the Sundogs. He said they weren't ready a couple of weeks ago, a couple of games ago. I guess now, hopefully, we'll get to see the Kenneth Logue-driven Florida Sundog bus.
We'll find out what his vision is for this team and for this league. And right now, Logue is in the locker room addressing his team. Let's find out what he has to say.
This is it, ladies and gentlemen. Old-time roller derby. The golden age of roller derby. This is what we're after. This is why we work so hard in practice. This is why we put in those long hours. This is what we're going to show those people out there. The future of roller jam is the golden age of roller derby. How are we going to do it? With speed, athleticism, agility, and teamwork. Yes! Who are we? Sundogs! Let's go! Let's get them!
One thing Kenneth Logue has always wanted is to turn the clock back. And he's telling his team, look, isn't this great? This is what I want.
Well, yeah, but he's got to go against the Illinois Riot. You know, don't forget that Ray Robles, little Richard Brown now have Denise Loden, who has been tooth and nail with Kenneth Logue since the beginning, coming right at him in his first time out with the Sundog team.
Richard Brown went out and got Denise Loden, took her away from the Sundogs, and when she arrived for the Riot, this is how she arrived, out of the rafters.
This is the greatest thing I've ever seen. It's still great, and I've seen it 1,000 times.
And look at little Richard, the self-proclaimed king, pulling his queen into his lair, as the Illinois Riot did, no question, become a much stronger team with the addition of Denise Loden.
Absolutely. She's got that, I guess they're calling it the sequin package, and she's got the gloves off, she's got the skates off, she's got most of her clothes off. She can now be the Denise Loden that I guess she always wanted to be.
They're ready to go. They've been winning lately. Let's see what happens tonight. The players getting ready to skate onto the bank track. Oh, man, someday we're going to blow somebody up with that.
Too late.
The Sundog women coming onto the track. Here they come, and there's Patsy Delgado. She is the newest Florida Sundog.
I don't know how she's going to like it here in Sundog heaven. In this nightmare, I guess, to her, driven by Kenneth Logue. She's a rough player. Let's see if she can keep it clean.
Right now, she certainly looks happy to be on this team. Bill Barker, he's pretty much been a clean skating player his whole life, so he'll probably thrive under the Logue system.
Well, I hear he loves this stuff, and him and Kenneth Logue are two peas in a pod of this kind of skate hard, skate clean mentality.
Well, that's a scary thought, to be two peas in a pod with Kenneth Logue III. Here come the Illinois Riot. They couldn't be more different than what Logue had as a vision of this league. See what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Speaking of two peas in a pod,
Denise Loden on the track. She has been a tremendous asset to this Illinois Riot team. They've been winning games, whether you like their style or not. They're doing well. And here comes the men's team right now. Ray Robles skates by, and he's been crowned officially. Where'd he get that thing. Crowns are us. It costs about 25 cents. All right, Broadway Danny Wolf has cornered Kenneth Logue.
Well, the time has finally come. It's the Logue Hour. Finally, the Sundogs are out here making their debut with you at the helm.
And I'm very excited, Daniel. The fans of Roller Jam are finally going to see what a Roller Jam team is all about. They're going to skate clean, skate hard. They won't cheat, they won't fight, they won't even bend the rules, and they will prevail because we are the Sundogs, and we're working our tails off to be champions.
I wish you the best of luck, Kenneth. Back to you, Rory and Hawk.
Roller Rules, brought to you by Dial 1-800-AT&T for collect calls.
There are 4 6-minute periods. The women skate periods 1 and 3. The men skate periods 2 and 4. There are 5 skaters per team, 2 jammers and 3 blockers. The blockers wear white helmets. The jammers have the black helmet with the stripe. Points are scored when jammers lap opposing team members. Here's an example of what I was just talking about. The jammer for the green team breaks out from the pack and circles the track. For each member of the red team that he or she passes, 1 point is earned.
Patsy Delgado's been told by Kenneth Logue, behave or else. Let's see how long that lasts. And Denise Logue, she's been told by Richard Brown, behave and you're fired, which I'm sure is just perfect for her. She likes this outfit.
All right, here we go. The Florida Sundogs and the Illinois Riot. First jam of the night, and Denise Loden of the Riot. She has a helmet on, and let's just see how clean and law-abiding these Sundogs are as far as the rules of Roller Jam are concerned with Kenneth Logue at their helm. I saw Richard Brown laughing when he was talking about it. Kathy Evangelo and Suzanne Chalene get knocked down, and that leaves Denise Loden and Millie Guthrie out of the jam.
Yeah, but does Richard Brown know how silly he looks in that little crown he had on?
That thing was made out of paper mache, I think. Seems like the king could afford a better crown than that. Here's another of the newest Sundogs, Patsy Delgado. They went right by her, and now Loden and Guthrie are just picking up points like you wouldn't believe. And the Sundogs, following the rules perhaps, but falling behind in the game. 6 quick ones for Illinois.
Let's go, let's go.
You know, Illinois hasn't lost a game since Denise Loden joined up.
Well, it's plays like this that are the reason for that. She had a jammer helmet on right out of the chute. Usually she doesn't do that, Rory. She sits back in the pack as a blocker for the first couple of jams to establish herself in there, and he's looking on. You know he can't like what he just saw in that jam, and now Denise Loden has put the blocker helmet on. She is versatile, and she is going to be a nemesis to Kenneth Logue as this nightmare for him continues.
Ileana Bonilla gets out there for the Illinois Riot. And welcome back to the track, number 8, Gina Lombardo. She had a separated shoulder. She's recovered. She's back. I don't know if it still hurts her or not, but it's good to see her back. These skaters are tough as down goes Bonilla, and Lombardo's right out there by herself. She's back all right. She slipped down. She slipped on the track. Now she has to try and get her footing again.
Well, obviously, coming back for her, she's kind of trying to work some of the cobwebs and the kinks out. It's not easy. These guys make it look so easy when they skate around, but after a layoff, it takes a while to get back into business.
Shauna Brown turned around and said, "Where have you been?" But Shauna didn't see big Patsy Delgado coming back. So Gina Lombardo picks up 1, and look at Delgado and Loden. Loden takes a swipe at her.
Well, they've changed sides. At Delgado and Loden, we saw these battles
Let's go.
transpiring. You wonder how Delgado's going to fit into that man's plans.
Did you see Logue? He was happy that Delgado didn't do anything. We'll be right back. Richard Brown looks calm and happy, doesn't he? Just chatting with his players. I'll tell you, the King's been in a very benevolent mood since Loden came aboard, and they've been winning all these games. You know why? He doesn't really have to worry about the women anymore. He figures Denise Loden will take care of things, and so far he's been right.
Well, they've gone from a position as little Richard Brown and the Riot men of usually being 4 or 5 points down every game to being 4 or 5 points up. That would make anybody, especially little Richard Brown, feel good.
Kathy Evangelo doesn't feel so good as she gets dumped. And Millie Guthrie, along with Loden once again, are out there. It's interesting to watch the Sundog women. Here we go with Patsy Delgado and Suzanne Chalene. There's a whip for Millie Guthrie right underneath the 2 of them. That was easy.
2 red.
Loden looks like she thinks it was almost too easy as Guthrie celebrates.
Millie Guthrie was emerging as one of the few bright spots early when the Riot were very short-handed for the women. The addition of Denise Loden to Debbie Rice kind of freed her up to really express herself, and now that Debbie Rice is hurt, she seems to be picking up the slack very nicely for Denise Loden, the queen, and Little Richard Brown, the king, and the Riot.
If Kenneth Logue is, if this is an example of his managerial genius as a coach, he's going to be about as successful as Jerry Faust was at Notre Dame. In other words, not very. 10-1. The Riot have jumped on top. Delgado has the jammers coming on, but she gets knocked down, and that leaves the jam to Crystal Schneider. Kathy Evangelo looks to try and catch up to Schneider. Even at this early point in the game, the Sundogs need some points. 20 seconds left in the jam. Now, finally, the Sundogs maybe have a chance to score some. Logue's in the infield saying, go, go. He likes the old classic way of scoring points. In other words, no treachery, no trickery, just hard, clean skating. But does it work in this day and age? Not for Evangelo that time.
No score.
And Shauna Brown even has a few words for her.
But you see the result of just a what I think is a very poor game plan by Kenneth Logue, and you got to ask yourself, they're down 10-1 in the first moments of his reign of terror. How long will these Sundogs continue to allow this to happen, and what recourse do they have to change his decisions?
You have to have some toughness, and that's where Delgado comes in. And I'm looking over there in the infield, I can see Delgado and Logue talking, and you can see that she's trying to make a point and say, look, we're getting blown out on the scoreboard. We're going to have to do something. Toughen up a little bit. Here's Evangelo and Schneider again, and the hip check sends Crystal Schneider down. Kathy Evangelo from not too far from here, Palm Bay, Florida, with her Sundogs down 10-1. Millie Guthrie goes back to block. She's a great jammer, but occasionally you'll see her drop back and do the blocking. Evangelo trying to sneak by. Guthrie grabs her, pushes her, shoves her, elbows her, knees her. Does everything she possibly can to her, including set her up for Denise Loden. Evangelo falls down. Loden wants to do a little back attack, it looks like.
That's it, Loden. That's it, Loden.
She's going to take Corbin with her.
Either that or she's just going to hang her. Second period coming up. The man, oh, there's the cardboard cutout of Bill Barker. Wait, that is Bill Barker, and he'll go up against Little Richard Brown. With or without his crown, he'll be tough. Stay with us, 10-2 Riot. We're back, Roller Jam Arena. Broadway Danny Wolf is in the infield with Kenneth Logue and Patsy Delgado. Danny?
Well, Patsy, this is your debut on the Sundogs, and already I know Kenneth Logue's advice, his training is not to fight, but it looks like Denise is just trying to pull you in.
I know, what?
No, Patsy holds no grudges against her ex-teammates. She's skating here for the love of the game, for pure sportsmanship. We're going to prevail, I promise you that.
Back to you, Rory and Hawk.
Patsy Delgado was able to stick with the game plan, but somebody who needs no encouragement is Captain America Bill Barker, but of course the King Richard Brown is going to be trying to get under his skin, Roy.
So far, it looks like Delgado's buying into Logue's ideas. 10-2, the Riot. And if the men have a good period, they can blow this thing open in the first half. Mo Sanders and Posse Chalene get out. I don't know. I think Posse's getting a little flabby. What do you think? Well, maybe not.
Yeah, like a granite statue. But see how the Sundogs respond, Rory. Remember, Denise Loden's penalty is being served out by the men, so the Sundogs will have a power jam right here for this first jam of the period.
Posse Chalene, I think, is made out of granite. And Little Richard Brown is outnumbered right now. He looks around and says, I'm in trouble. Whoa! He was right. You can see it in his face as he saw 3 Sundogs surround him, and Chalene just falls over him. Now goes by Robles and calls it off. He might have called it off a second too soon because Travis Wills was being knocked out of the building.
If he was seeing 3 Sundogs before he got hit, he was seeing about 8 after he got hit. And Posse Chalene just lowered the boom Watch the hit on little Richard Brown. He calls himself the king. Hey, king, dig yourself out of your hole. Let him eat cake, right? Wow.
Boy, Richard would rather that not happen much tonight. Look at him. He's a bit shaking up. He says, doesn't he know who I am? Yeah, he knows, Richard. That's why he did that. 10-3, the Sundogs are trailing, and he only got 1 point for all of that. And now, the Illinois Riot get Mike Tanner out there. And he is chasing number 6 for the Sundogs, Jonathan Russell. He doesn't have to chase him anymore because Russell's flat on his back. That leaves Mike Tanner coming up to the double block. The Riot have dominated this game, and now look at Robles. He's back there. He says, don't worry, I'll help you through. Lockamy and Marshall were the blockers, but Robles did the job. He did it big time. He got his jammer through, but then he did miss when Jonathan Russell came by. And Robles was going to go over there and say, you don't do that to me, kid.
That's it, that's it, that's it, that's it, that's it. Get moving. Move.
And these Sundogs are forced to be on their heels, Rory, because of that man who has immersed himself in this as Kenneth Logue. It's difficult enough to try to play when Kenneth Logue is sitting there on the corner of the track barking at you. How can you perform? Not only that, but he's not allowing them to defend themselves. These guys are in big trouble.
12-3, the Riot way out in front. Little Richard Brown and Ray Robles, man, you've got those two guys on your team. Out there at the same time, you are trouble for the other guys, as Brown just missed a hip check there in the pack and went right into the rail. But here we go again, number 53 for the Riot. That's Andy Wallace trying to keep his balance. He did so that time. Little Sam Martin's with him. Now he loses his balance. Talking about Wallace. That leaves Sam Martin out there. I would think Martin would be just the kind of guy Logue would love. Quiet, keeps to his business, plays a clean game, tries to score when he can.
Red hair.
That's always a plus. And here's Brown back there. Whoa! Richard, you missed him. Where'd he go? Mo Sanders slips down. Martin looks behind his back and sees Brown trying to catch him. He missed him again. Over the rail goes little Richard. This is a display of skating. This is what Logue would love to see every night.
He's the Flame. Well, he was on fire right there. Red hair and all. This looks like jams of old with the Flame going through the 5-borough lineup.
Well, that got Logue in a better mood, didn't it? He's happy now.
Well, he ain't going through Brooklyn, the Bronx, or Manhattan. He's going through maybe Joliet, Chicago, maybe a little Wheaton, Illinois. The Flame, Sam Martin. He still looks miserable, though, does Kenneth Logue. Come on, man. Get a smile on your face once in a while. Sam Martin just got you a bunch of points.
It's the Riot 12, the Sundogs 6. And there go the Jammers, and Sigmund Williams gets away. Sigmund Williams, number 8. Disposed of Travis Wills that time. And Williams, if this were a flat track, you wouldn't even be able to see this guy. He's such a blur. He adjusts his skates. And he better adjust the rest of his body as he gets up to Robles.
I think Robles is going to adjust it for him.
Robles is one tough customer back there. Bill Barker, we haven't seen much of him tonight. He's back there to help Sigmund Williams. Gives him the whip up high and then sends him down low. Robles couldn't stay on his feet. Sigmund Williams gets the point. Barker gets the big assist. (12-7), Riot by 5. Oh man, did Brown get taken down in the pack? The Kings having a tough night. And here comes the whip to Posse Chalene. Chalene, as though he's still playing hockey. Runs into the rail, sends his opponent out of the building. That was Travis Wills. And Posse gets on those great skates, and here he comes. He gives him another shot just for good measure.
Well, these Sundogs are trying to make a game of it, Rory. They were getting blown out early. maybe they are prepared to play. They just needed a little time to get warmed up after the layoff, because Posse Chalene can really bring them back into contention here.
They're trying to show they're not the Sun Puppies after all. Richard Brown back there along with Bill Rokovert. And they're watching Chalene try and break through him. Only 2 seconds left in the jam. He didn't make it. He didn't make it. I don't think he got any.
2 yellow.
No, they're going to give him 2.
The end of it is no good. 2 yellow.
Well, it's ironic that all this clean play is battering little Richard Brown more than dirty play does. I guess when somebody plays clean, he's not prepared for it, perhaps. But Posse Chalene has emerged. He started out early. You see him send number 57, Travis Wills, right through a couple of the uprights into the cheap seats. He pivots, comes back around, gets a little help from his friend, the Captain America. Usually the Captain America takes out one dude. Hey, what the heck? We like this one so much, we'll play 2. Captain America, Posse Chalene team up for a big score.
Back at Roller Jam Arena in Orlando at Universal Studios. This is Roller Jam. Sundogs are number 1. Well, we'll find out about that. They're not at the moment because they're trailing in this game. Kenneth Logue's style, play the game clean, skate hard, score, win. We'll see if they're able to do that. But in the first period, they fell behind early.
Well, a big shock as they fell behind because Denise Loden was on the other team, and Patsy Delgado, much to the liking of Kenneth Logue, kind of refrained herself somewhat. But for the Sundog men, they played like he wanted them to. They kept it clean, but they made it mean, Rory.
It'll be interesting to see, Hawk, whether or not Kenneth Logue's idea of a clean skating game helps him win this game or not. But right now, we're going to send it down to our own Julie Lynch.
With the departure of Denise Loden and Debbie Rice, the Sundogs were desperately searching for a savior. In steps Kenneth Logue. Logue may be top dog in Florida, but he'll have to rely on 2 purebreds to lead his team. Tonight, Kenneth Logue III put his reputation on the line, debuting his clean-cut Sundog squad.
Look, if I've said it once, I've said it a million times. A successful team relies on teamwork and sportsmanship to succeed. Any departure from the rule book is detrimental both to the individual and to the team.
Captain America, Bill Barker, breaks the mold when it comes to clean cut.
I only respect people who believe in hard work and commitment, and I really believe that Kenneth Logue is trying to make the Sundogs a better team.
Barker's name is synonymous with training. When he's not skating, he's found at his gym, diligently pumping iron and schooling others in the art of bodybuilding.
A little slow start at the bottom, make the muscle go work right there. Slow start, and bring it up. Good, perfect.
Barker may define clean, but Posse Chalene is just plain cut. This guy is a poster boy for a perfect body. While most guys are downing 6-packs, Posse continues to sculpt his, which has led to a lucrative modeling career.
Posse can get a little wild. I mean, after all, he was in the NHL. He's a big-time cover boy. But if he sticks with my system, I have no doubt that he's going to be the best jammer this league has ever seen.
The NHL alum may be a bit flashy for Logue's taste, but he's a key for the dog's success.
Bill and Posse are world-class athletes and exemplary gentlemen who are my keys to leading the Sundogs to the championship.
All right, thanks a lot, Julie. Let's go down to the infield now where Broadway Danny Wolf is with Mark D'Amato.
All right, Mark, I guess now we know, and you want to talk about the $400,000. Now, what is it, a big misunderstanding?
Exactly, a huge misunderstanding. Yes, I took the $400,000. However, there was a reason.
Wait a minute, nobody care about your reason. You're a thief, you ain't no good. I'm the king, this is my kingdom. You shouldn't be interviewing anybody but me. Why do you even let this twerp in here? I don't care what anybody says. This is my town, this is my turf. I wear the crown. He's a thief. He needs to get out of here, and as soon as I get in touch with my lawyers, I'm suing him, the WSL, that union that is no good. This is my territory. I got my queen around here, and that's it.
All right, thank you for that interruption, King Richard. Jeez,
You should learn to relax a little bit.
Yeah, he should take lessons from you, right?
Absolutely. Now let me finish.
Back to the 400,000 quickly. What is the money going to?
The 400,000. Let me take this opportunity to make another announcement. The 400,000 is going for the All-Star Challenge to be skated in a few weeks. It will be Atkinson versus D'Amato. I will pick 8 All-Stars, and Atkinson will pick 8 All-Stars. And the money is going for promotion, for flyers, for uniforms, and some money for the winning team, things like that.
Well, good luck with your All-Star Challenge coming up in the next few weeks. Thank you, Mark D'Amato. You're welcome. Back to you, Rory and Hawk.
I'd love to see $400,000 worth of flyers. That's a lot of paper. The challenge match coming up at a later date. Coming up here in the third quarter, the women will be on the track. Denise Loden trying to lead her Riot to victory, and Patsy Delgado doing what she can for the Sundogs. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Universal Studios. The Riot leading the Sundogs by 3, and Broadway Danny Wolf is with Denise Loden.
And Denise, you're facing your old team, the Sundogs. And I'll tell you, some of these Sundog girls, under the leadership of Logue, have been bad-mouthing you pretty hardcore.
Who? Which ones?
Patsy Delgado.
Oh, that's no surprise. Look at her. Look at me, look at her. Look at me, look at her. What's wrong with this picture? Jealousy.
Back to you, Rory and Hawk.
Second half, third quarter, ready to go. The women are on the track. The Sundogs are trailing it 12-9, and they send Suzanne Chalene out after Crystal Schneider. Suzanne Chalene at the moment outnumbered, but now she's not. It's one-on-one. It's her and Norma Marshall, but down goes Norma Marshall, and Suzanne's done a great job on this jam.
Well, in Posse Chalene, the second quarter was all his. It looks like the third quarter is all Suzanne. This might be the Chalene show. Wow.
Shauna Brown goes right back to block against the Helsinki Flash. Suzanne Chalene. So far, Shauna Brown's done a pretty good job. Denise Loden's in weight. There she is, and look out. Suzanne, down she goes. Her former teammate, her former pal on the Sundogs.
One yellow.
Denise apparently doesn't care about that. She gives her a couple little slaps.
Knock it off, knock it off. Get moving, get moving.
And Suzanne Chalene is livid. I mean, remember, Rory, these two were actually partners in fashion earlier in the season when they were both wearing the gold ensemble for the Florida Sundogs. Well, those loyalties and kind words from days gone by, or long days gone by, as Suzanne Chalene just gets it from Denise Loden. Wow.
Yeah, they were good friends at the time. But things change, times change, and when you're with the Illinois Riot, it's hard to have any friends other than the rest of your teammates. 12-10, they did give Suzanne Chalene 1 point, so the Sundogs are only down by 2. Kathy Evangelo and Gina Lombardo talking things over, and it didn't matter, did it? Millie Guthrie went right through him like a knife through butter.
Well, and right there, Rory, I have to say that Kenneth Logue apparently has not been stressing contact in their practices. He wants to keep it clean. He wants to keep violence out of the game. But when you do that, you don't practice combating that kind of play, and you're seeing it in the play of these Sundog women.
How do you coach a roller jam team and not coach contact? There's some contact for Delgado. She makes contact with the track.
I got one red. One red.
Loden comes over, gives her a little sarcastic kiss as Delgado picks herself up.
Let's go.
Sean Corbin says, keep moving, Delgado. 1 point on that jam for the Riot, and it's 13-10, Riot leading it.
And she is gaining more confidence every day, Rory, is Denise Loden for these Riot. When she was shackled with the Sundogs, she couldn't quite express herself. Of course, she was dating Sean Atkinson. She had a lot of strikes against her. Now she's free. She's the queen. She can just lay that throttle all the way open, and you are seeing the result of that freedom. She's just playing wonderfully.
Suzanne Chalene's out there again, trying to get things going for the Sundogs. Obviously, the coach now, Kenneth Logue, has decided that the Chalenes are going to be his stars because they're out of a lot of jams. Both of them have a great look and a great skating style. Patsy Delgado waves her arm and says, come on, Suzanne, I'll help you through the pack. And she starts picking them off one by one. Chalene has gotten 1 point, now another one. Now she gets a third and a fourth. She got them all! The Sundogs have taken lead. I can't believe it.
Let's go.
Suzanne goes by her ex-buddy Denise Loden and says, how do you like that?
Well, she skated right by Kenneth Logue, who gave Suzanne Chalene a scowl. The play was great, but he did not appreciate her grandstanding here at the end. Suzanne Chalene comes through, great job, calls off the jam, but then she had some harsh words, a little bit of shouting match ensued with Denise Loden. Kenneth Logue says, hey, don't play that way, Suzanne Chalene.
I think it was just enthusiasm. And the Sundogs lead this game 14-13 here in the third quarter. Who would have ever thought that when it was about 12-3 Riot? There goes Gina Lombardo back on the track. She separated her shoulder a couple of weeks ago, but it's hard to keep a good woman down. You know that, Hawk?
I've been trying to keep good women down for a lot of years, Rory.
Can hardly get that out, can you?
They just run away from me.
Millie Guthrie and Crystal Schneider now on the jam for the Riot. And Denise Loden says, come on, let's go. Let's get through this pack. Follow me, girls. Loden's going to set the whip. Up high goes one. Up high goes another one. Loden got them both through there.
Four red.
The referees confer.
4 red.
4 Riot points. And Logue doesn't like that because that was a clean play in which his team was just outplayed by the Riot.
Well, he was very thrilled last jam until the words of Suzanne Chalene turned his smile upside down.
You know what I think? The day he announced Lindsey Francis as the roller derby queen, when it was a complete, unadulterated lie, was the day he lost all credibility.
Well, in my book, when he started telling Denise Loden to put clothes on, he lost credibility with me.
Well, you've never said that to anybody.
No way. I referenced my earlier trying to keep a good woman down and get beat up point.
17-14. The Riot are back in the lead. And here's one of my favorite skaters in this league. Millie Guthrie's out there. And Suzanne Chalene gets out again. Both of these skaters have tremendous speed. This will be the last jam of the women's period. And let's see which of these great combatants gets the best of this one. Chalene whacks Millie Guthrie and sends her down.
Well, the absence of Debbie Rice is very evident for the Riot, Rory. They just don't have, although Millie Guthrie is fast, Suzanne Chalene would have no chance of outrunning Debbie Rice. And she's taking advantage of it now, although Denise Loden closes the door on her very quickly.
Chalene got the point, but now look at Denise Loden. She never wants to come off the track when the period's over with. She's always working somebody over.
Let her out, let her out, let her out.
Where's she going? Oh, no.
Get out of here.
Patsy Delgado gets the bench right into the head, which I believe is against the rules. Well, no matter. Here come the men. Can they pull one out for Logue? Bill Barker will be trying to do it for the Sundogs, but he'll have to go up against these two tough guys, Ray Robles and King Richard Brown. Right now, the Riot leading it by 2. The fourth and final quarter. We're about to give it away with it. The Illinois Riot have a 2-point lead in this one. Let's see if they can hang on to it. Travis Wills was quick off the break. He and Mo Sanders get out there first, and chasing again is Posse Chalene. Can he tell? Oh, man, can he skate? He went right by those two.
That shows you that acceleration that he learned over there in Europe growing up. I guess when you start that early skate, you have power, and he continues with this powerful play, Rory. Great job. He's the man of the hour for the Sundogs.
3 of the quickest points you'll ever see. Posse Chalene just picked them up. And they have the lead. Little Richard Brown trying to goad Posse into a fight. I don't know if that's a good idea for Richard.
Knock it off. Knock it off.
I don't know if anybody should want to fight this guy. Ray Robles gives him a shove, but they know that Posse won't fight because that's not Logue's style.
Well, Kenneth Logue may want to fight him, but the acceleration of Posse Chalene and just the sheer power that you see him just mop up this Riot, he really shows their weaknesses, Rory. When you got a guy that big and that fast, and unfortunately that good looking, you're in big trouble.
18-17. The Sundogs have taken a 1-point lead. I can't believe it. I really honestly thought the Riot would blow them out of the building tonight. Little Sam Martin's out there for the Sundogs. And with him is number 54, Mike Tanner. Tanner gets Martin and sends him into the rail. Now let's see what Mike Tanner can do. Richard Brown and Ray Robles have gone to work on somebody. Who is that? That's number 9, Bill Barker. And look at Robles and Brown work him over.
Captain America just became Captain Crunch.
Watch the hold and roll.
Watch the hold, and apparently Sean Corbin missed the carnage that ensued when his back was turned.
Neither one of them held him for a holding call. Each one of them had a temporary hold on him, but not long enough to substantiate a fall. Let's go.
Logue has a good point. What about the punches in the head?
Get moving, Brown. Get moving, Brown. Get up there. Get to the front of the mat.
It's almost comedy to hear Sean Corbin say, well, they had a hold of him, but not for long enough to call a penalty.
If that's not a penalty, what is? I ask you. 18-18. The game is tied up. And the whip goes again to Posse Chalene. They're going to try and ride him to victory here tonight. For the Riot, that's Travis Wills. That was Travis Wills anyway.
Well, and even if they don't win here tonight, Rory, they've kept it close. You got to take your hat off for some reason to Kenneth Logue, whatever he's done. And Posse Chalene, this system, he is just thriving in this new Kenneth Logue system. And it's pretty good to see because he's not a bad guy either.
It's as though he's been waiting just for this. Certain players will fit in well into Logue's system. Whoa, whoa, my goodness. Richard Brown makes sure that Posse Chalene fits face down on the bank track. Oh, look at Posse. Look at Posse. He wants to fight. He's going to take his shirt off. Richard Brown turns around and says, uh-oh, who's that?
Let's go. Knock it off.
Oh, wow.
Let's go.
Your bench. Take a seat, Posse. That's not the way we played in the Sundogs. I warned you once. Take a seat. That's not the way we played in the Sundogs.
Here's the guy that's been the star of this game. And Kenneth Logue says you don't do that with the Sundogs and sends him off the track.
Well, he's promised to rule with an iron fist, has Kenneth Logue. Well, that iron fist has got a thumb sticking out, sending Posse Chalene to the showers.
I'll give this much to Logue. He's sticking up for his principles. I mean, Chalene's had a great game, but Logue does not want the fighting. He doesn't care to see Posse rip his shirt off, and he says, go on. You're not going to play anymore tonight. Kenneth Logue, who just ordered Posse Chalene off the track, his best skater tonight, with the game on the line, a one-point game with about 3 minutes to go. That's almost an unprecedented move. That would be like throwing Joe Montana out when you were Bill Walsh in the Super Bowl with 3 minutes to go. Well, here comes Ray Robles on a jam. Here's a guy that doesn't jam too often, but he can do it all. This guy is a great athlete, believe me. He's a tremendous softball player in the offseason. And he just sacrificed his own body so he could get out there by himself on the jam. You see those little baby steps he has to take? That's to get momentum on those quad skates.
Well, it ain't pretty. You see these guys on quad skates in no way compared to the agility, the finesse, and the sheer speed of the inline skates, but he's moving around. He's doing his best. He's huffing and puffing and chugging. I think I can.
Well, they make up for it with guile and skill. And now Robles and Richard Brown get back there. Bill Barker sets the block along with Sean Marshall. They didn't last too long, did they? Robles sneaks through on top and gets them all. He calls off the jam. (23-19). The Riot are back on top. And Ray Robles got 5 points.
Well, in what might have been a miraculous comeback for the Sundogs with the emergence of Posse Chalene seems to have been totally deflated, has that balloon. Without Posse Chalene, Ray Robles got out in a jam. Nobody big enough out there to combat him. And then he gets around and he has the power to score the points.
Look at Robles. He says, I'll take a little break here. It's nice to be in Florida. Turns his hair blonde.
Well, I was teasing him about that little dip-de-doo he's got in the old lip there. He didn't like that too much.
23-19. The Riot lead, and the game is on the line. This is going to be the last jam, and Sigmund Williams gets set down, but also slipping down is Mike Tanner, and Sigmund gets up. Sigmund's fast. He can fly like the wind, and he's going to try and pull it out for Logue's Sundogs.
And Tanner seems to be shaking something off, Rory. I think he might have hurt himself. Sigmund's going to have a shot all by himself.
Sigmund against Richard Brown. Can the King hold on to the crown in this game? So far, yes, as Richard works him over. Barker's back to assist. How much time do they have? 15 seconds. They need 5. Oh, Brown just took Sigmund Williams out. Raises his arms. He's accustomed to winning, and he's done it again. Look at little Richard Brown. He celebrates. Time has run out. Logue is the loser in his coaching debut, and Sigmund Williams has to try and pick.
Mark D'Amato, we're not done with him yet. Who had hurt himself, limped around, and with the absence of Sigmund Williams, who was sprawled out of the track, he gets the victory, does little Richard Brown of the Illinois Riot. But it's a Texas Bulldog. I guess it's an Illinois Riot going on right there at that part of the track for Sigmund Williams, and the King celebrates.
I'll tell you what, that'll take anybody out. That'll end any jam, and tonight it ends the game. And the Riot win it by 5. Broadway Danny Wolf is with the losing coach, Kenneth Logue.
All right, Kenneth, valiant effort tonight, but I got to ask you the obvious question. Your team was up by 1 point with a little under 3 minutes left. Posse Chalene having a great game, and then you eject him from the game. And what? You would have won the game, I'm positive, if you would have let him remain in for the last few jams.
It doesn't matter how good a game a skater is having. It's not whether you win or lose. It is how you play the game, and fighting will not be tolerated on the Sundogs. We had this game in hand, except for a few questionable calls from the referees that went against us. I think it was a great first showing for a team that's been out for a while.
Well, you guys were in it to the very last jam, and I congratulate you on the effort of the Sundogs. I've got to ask you, though, Kenneth, what's going to happen with the Sundogs now in the future? You take Posse out of the game for fighting. How do you regroup? What do you say to the team after a close? Maybe you guys are just 1 or 2 skaters away from getting over the hump.
I absolutely agree, and everybody gets a second chance. Posse will be back with the team again. The suspension was only for the duration of the game. I think I got a couple of surprises in store for the league and for Mark D'Amato.
Well, in case you didn't know, your next opponent will be Mark D'Amato and those New York Enforcers.
I think speaking for all the Sundogs, we say bring them on, baby.
Well, you heard from Kenneth Logue. Tough loss tonight, but I got to tell you, valiant effort by the Sundogs. And when you meet D'Amato and the Enforcers, it should be one heck of a game. Right now, let's go back to Rory and Hawk.
They almost look like father and son right there. Kenneth Logue tossing Posse Chalene out of the game. But Logue has big plans for this Sundog team, even though they lost tonight to King Richard.
Well, I think the only thing in these Sundogs' way, Rory, may be Kenneth Logue's ego.
They lost tonight 25-20 despite the efforts of Posse Chalene, at least as long as he was still in the game. It's another great game, though, for King Richard. He has to be happy. We're happy you were with us. We'll see you next time on Roller Jam.